I'm Sophia A. Jackson, and I'm the editor and founder of Afridiziak Theatre News. And today I'm joined by.
My name is Roy Williams. I'm a playwright, stroke screenwriter, but for the purpose of this, I'm a playwright, and I've thrilled to tell you all about my adaptation of Sam Selvon's amazing book, The Lonely Londoners.
Thank you. So let's start with the basics. In your own
Mhm.
words, what is The Lonely Londoners about for anyone who is new to this?
Well, the short answer is I would say it's about friendship, kinship in all sense of the word, involving a group of West Indian men who came to the England in the late 50s, mid to late 50s. I suppose you could say they were the Windrush Generation, but obviously at that time that that phrase was never coined. They just came. They were just invited by England to come over to England to help the country rebuild, and it was an amazing opportunity for a lot of them. That the mother country came calling because, as you know, at the time, there were many West Indian islands where these guys came from that were colonies of the British Empire.
Mm-hmm.
So they felt it was their duty and their honour to come over. But then reality set in, and they it wasn't what was soft pitched to them before they left. They encountered a lot of racism, obviously. The signposts in the windows: no shop, no blacks, no Irish, no dogs.
Mm.
They struggled to find work. They weren't trusted. They weren't respected. They just weren't liked, and they really had to work overtime within themselves to have this country, at least on one level, appreciate them and respect them. And that's kind of what the book is about. It's a very uplifting, funny book, dark at times, very, very dark.
Mm.
And it was just a thrill to me to be given the opportunity to adapt it and put it on stage for the first time ever, which I find even when I still say it now, I find it hard to believe it's never been done before.
And what was your first encounter with the Lonely Londoners? When did you read it? Many years
Oh, I read
ago,
it.
or?
Oh, many, many years ago. We're talking almost 30 years, showing my age here. It was recommended to me by a friend of mine. I read it, and then coincidentally, I was approached by a film company who are the latest in the queue to want to adapt this book. I mean, for reasons I won't bore you with, that didn't work out.
Yeah.
I just remember reading it many, many years ago, and it's the first book I ever sat down and read it all in one sitting. Didn't stop, just read it, from first page to the last, non-stop. And I've never
Yeah.
done that before. And the reason why is obvious because it was a page turner. It was just such a great, joyous, funny book and clever as well in terms of the style of writing. And there's one passage in the book particular, I think it goes on for about sort of 10 pages, but there's no pronunciation, punctuation at all. It's just
Oh, wow.
words, 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 words. It's just an unspooling of thoughts that the main character Moses has. And I thought, wow, I've never seen that in a book. I've never seen anyone in any form of medium attempt to do something like that before. I thought it was clever. And there's so many other genius things about it. I mean, he's tackling very serious subjects, but in a very
Mm.
he found an amazing style in order to tell it. It was serious, it was scary, it was also funny at the same time, and his writing just managed to encapsulate that in almost every single line of dialogue.
And how have you stayed true to the script, to the text in terms of the
Um,
play, or
I
have
think
you
I've stayed
not?
true. Oh no, no, I think I'm very, very loyal. I mean, my way of sort of in tackling adaptations. Yes, you got to make it your own, obviously, and you got to find some other form for it. It's rather pointless just putting the book on stage. What's the point?
Mm.
'Cause people can just read the book.
Yeah, that's true.
Got to give them something interesting. And if you ask them to come and see it as a stage play, you've got to give them something theatrical. And yeah, with all due respect, the book's not theatrical, and it shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be. It's
Mm.
what it is. It's on me to make it as theatrical as possible. So that was my mission number one, to do
Mm.
that. And but in doing so, because it's such a big book, such a sprawling book, so many characters,
Hmm.
and obviously, theatre, the very fact of theatre is it can be limitless, but it can be, for the purpose of this, quite. I had to scale it down a little bit, and not to do necessarily to do with size, but just like it's all about characters, and it doesn't quite work as it may do in the book, where you have 3 or 4 characters who are relatively the same, or have the same
Hmm.
status. You got to kind of scale it down. So whereas you can have 4 characters like that on stage, I think it's always a good idea to maybe have one. So I did a lot of that. So a lot of the characters and their traits and their humours and their lines, I kind of had to kind of choose one and then blend him with all the others. So I did a
Mm.
lot of that. The book itself is not very. It doesn't really have a plot. It kind of meanders, but all in a
Okay.
good way, in a really good respect. Like I said that there's one form where you're allowed to meander. It's when you're writing a novel. You're granted that
You've
privilege,
got that space, yeah.
that space. But theatre, we've got 2 hours. Just under 2 hours to kind of make our point in and out. So I had to find a plot
Mm.
in play. But I use the book big time as a guide, and the stuff in there. I thought, oh yeah, I can use this, I can use that to kind of string something together. And there are some subplots that I had to bring in myself.
Hmm.
But they didn't. I would argue they don't come out of nowhere. They come out from what I've read of the book. Really, I just kind of thought, well, I don't think it's a that much of a stretch if I do this and do that. And so that's what I've done. And I've tried to make sense of, because in the book, Moses, the main character, writes a lot of letters.
Mm.
And I've worked very hard to kind of honor that, but give the audience a reason why he's doing that, which wasn't so clear in the book. So it's just stuff like that. But trust me, it all comes out of a love for what Sam Selvon wrote. I mean, a lot of these lines and dialogue is a lot of that is in the. If you know the book, I'm hoping, anticipating you'll see it in the play.
And in
A lot of
terms
it.
of the technical side, like how do you actually, like in a nutshell or in a few bullet points, like how do you go from a book to a stage production? Like what are the main things that you have to do as
Oh,
a playwright to whittle it down to, a book to 2 hours?
I think you just got to do it stage by stage and accept. I mean, it's more of a general note I would say. For any
Mm.
writer listening to this is you got to accept it's not gonna all be right in the first draft. It's gonna be draft after draft after draft.
Right.
I would say for the first 2 drafts, I just kind of had a bit of fun with it and just basically I just threw everything down. Everything that was in the book, I put it down on the
Okay.
script, because then once you do that, then it's all about trying to find what you really want to write from what you've already written. I
Mm.
would say. So the first couple of drafts were 110%. It was the book, but when I look back, you just kind of, okay, that's great. I've done that. Got it out. Got it out. It's on the proverbial paper now. Now my job is to shape it, just kind of get it down and be aware of you are writing for theatre now, and you have to have that mindset fully turned on in
Yeah.
order. So sometimes that means you have to sort of make cuts and adjustments, I would say. So yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say cuts or edits. I would say it's more adjustments.
Hmm.
I would say you've got to think about that, and then at the same time honor what you loved about the book to begin with, really. And none of that's easy. It's like, it's not meant to be easy.
Yeah.
But if you think about it and really work at it and just accept it's not going to come out, it's not going to come out perfect the first couple of goes. It's going to take as long as it takes.
And you're in rehearsals now, so are you still making further tweaks to the script
Of course,
or
that's
yeah,
that's 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 standard. I mean, that's every rehearsal I've ever been in since I started this.
yeah.
Absolutely, it's completely it. Yeah, I mean, I was in there yesterday, and I was going over some changes I wanted to make, and also questions that Ebenezer and the cast had, just
Mm.
about just certain lines and stuff. Not as much as they were on day one, but but it's still there. Yeah, there's still work to be done, and we did a run yesterday, and it's looking really, really good. I'm very, very happy with where we're going with it. So
Yeah.
it's great,
So,
actually.
do you feel like we should read the book before we see the play, or is the play standalone?
I think the play's standalone. I think if you've got time, yeah, read the book as well.
Yeah.
It's such a great book. It's such a great book. It comes from somewhere. What I hope is that it gives people when I come and see it, a curiosity. But oh, yeah, okay, maybe I might go back and read the book as well, and they won't be sorry. But on its own, no, you don't need to have read the book. I think, excuse me, I think we've done. I think I've done well. I've worked well, certainly worked hard to kind of ensure that people don't need to. It stands alone. Yeah,
Yeah. And it feels like we're in an exciting time in terms of the telling stories of the Windrush era, because
we
we've
are.
got
Yeah,
the big life that's come
yeah,
back
which I saw last night.
after
Uh,
20 years. How important do you think it is to keep those stories alive?
Central is a part. It's a part of British history. I can't see how anyone can have a problem with that. It's a part. It's an important part of history. And if there's a lot of it, then and people have a problem with that, then I say, well, blame the government, blame the way they treated that Windrush generation 5 or 6 years ago, where they still be treated, they're still being
Yeah,
treated, which was so. I mean, I can't underestimate. I don't think how anyone estimate how that made me feel, from as a son of of West Indian people, and
mm,
just for all of us as a whole, how dare they treat them like that? How
yeah,
dare they? It made no sense at all. I mean,
shameless.
and
Yeah,
it was shameless. It was shameless, and they weren't people. They were just like numbers, which is even more horrifying and just disgusting.
yeah.
Um,
And I think gestures like renaming the overground, the Windrush line, it's just,
there's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing. I like that. I like
I
that.
mean,
I
I
think,
think it's nice, but there's also so much
but
more.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. It's nice, but
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. I mean, that goes without saying. Absolutely, yeah. That on its own does not cover it,
yeah,
and I don't think anyone could imagine having an argument to say that it does.
yeah.
Absolutely no way. So yeah, telling these stories in drama really, I'll say important, and there's so more, and there's so more. I would argue there is to
Mm,
tell. There's no one way of telling that story. That's what, because when I saw Big Life last night, even though I sense that story was influenced by the original book of Lonely Londoners.
right.
Uh,
Okay. That would make
but
sense, actually.
yeah, of course, absolutely. It's similar times, but
Yeah.
it's but I think both stories kind of coexist in their own way. I mean, Lonely Londoners it's got its own way of telling that story,
Mm.
as Big Life has, and as I'm sure other writers have as well. In telling, just telling that way, it is important. It's like I said, it's British history, so yeah, yeah. Long may those stories continue to come.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm going to go into my quick fire questions now,
Okay.
which
Yeah.
are all completely random. So,
Oh,
first is what's your earliest memory of going to the theatre and who took you?
ooh, that's a good one. That is a really good one. My earliest memory, um, it was it's hard to explain in terms of who took me. I used to go to a youth club when I was a kid.
Yeah.
They owned a campsite in Dymchurch.
Okay.
We're very near, kind of sort of sandwiched between Eastbourne, some around about
Okay.
on the coast. And so it was a summer camp, and then we did loads of activities. And one activity was that they would take us to see a show. So I do
Oh,
remember
that's so
going to the
nice.
theatre I think it was like Theatre Royal Eastbourne or somewhere, one of those seaside theatres.
Yeah.
And it wasn't a play. It was like one of those sort of summertime specials when they have like guests, people from the telly, singers and comedians and ventriloquists come
Oh,
on.
like a cabaret show or something.
Like a cabaret show. It's like a
Yeah.
cabaret show. Yeah, I mean that. I think that was my first time I ever stepped foot in a theatre, and it's just a live experience, not necessarily the show itself, but just a live experience, sitting down, watching people perform right in front of you.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, there's no telly in between. It was just it was them. You could see them and hear them, and
Yeah.
yeah. So that was my first experience. I must have been about 10 or 11. I think I was about 10
Oh,
years old.
that's nice. And who has had the biggest influence on your career so far?
Oh God, there's so
Or
many
if
to
there's
name.
someone that's been a mentor or your go-to if things were a bit challenging, is there someone you don't have to say who they are, but like or just how
Well,
they've shaped you
I
basically?
think anyone who calls himself a playwright, I would say.
Mm,
I've got lists of favorite playwrights who do that for me.
Who are
Barry
they?
Keith.
Yeah.
Barry Keith.
So he did, was
Um,
it Sus? Did he do?
he wrote
Yeah.
Sus. He
Yeah.
wrote Sus. He's one playwright who really had a sort of big impact on me when I was younger
Hmm.
because cause I felt he was writing about a world that's very identifiable to me,
Yeah.
and there's nothing better, I would say. It's like when you see something and you see people, a world that you identify with. You see people who sound like you and talk like you.
Hmm.
That's yeah. I think that's an incredible experience, incredible feeling for anyone to have. So yeah, I would say it would be him.
Thank you. And your favorite theatre space? You've worked in so many theatre spaces, but can you whittle down one that you're like, this this feels like home to me?
Oh, the Royal Court downstairs.
Oh, is it the Joe? Is that the Joe Wood or is that not the Joe
Joe was
Wood?
downstairs.
Yeah.
Joe was downstairs by a country mile. I
Okay.
remember when because at the time I'd written two plays for the upstairs space before, and then I was approached by Ian Rickson, who ran the theatre at the time, and said, "Okay, we want you to write another play. We think you're ready to write a play for the downstairs." And as soon as he said that, I knew exactly what that meant. I was going to have my name in lights
Oh,
on Sloane Square.
which play was that?
That was Fallout,
Oh, wow. Okay.
2003, and you just know because and you just feel your name is going to be up there, and then you think about the oh god the plethora of playwrights, world known, worldwide famous known, who have had plays on there before, and your name is up there alongside them now. They're forever. That yeah, it's done. It happened.
And it is
Yeah,
actually quite iconic, the Royal Court, because it's
very
in
iconic. Yeah,
red as well. It's like,
and it's arguably the most famous new writing theatre in the entire world.
yeah,
So yeah, that's hard
that's
to beat.
that's a lovely memory. Thank you. And finally, who would you like to see the Lonely Londoners, dead or alive, on press night? If you could invite someone, who would
Oh
it be? Would it be Sam Selvon?
yeah, sounds yeah, yeah. It'd be nice to see him there. Oh wow, there's so many. Yeah, I'll say Mr. Selvon, Mr. Selvon. Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd like to. Yeah, I would like him to be there.
Oh,
But in a way, he is there. He is there.
yeah,
He's
he is there. Yeah,
there in
I
spirit.
agree. In spirit.
So
Okay. Well, thank you so much, Roy.
good job.
If there's any, is there anything else you want to share before we go our separate
Uh,
ways?
no, I think we're good. I think we covered it.
Thank you.
That was my question to you, but you beat me.
Okay. No, we've covered everything. Thank you. It's been a
Okay,
joy talking to
my
you.
pleasure.
Finally.
Thank you. Yay!
All right. Take care.
Till next time.
Bye-bye.
Take care.
Yeah.
Bye bye.
Bye.